Hi guys, and welcome to my channel Twin Flame Spirit. My name is Yvonne and today we have a new video and it's about kids, and it's a subject I've been sort of avoiding for quite some time because I was like, this one is too delicate to handle. You know, we talk a lot about kids in my sessions with my clients because the normal situation of people who meet their twin flame nowadays is that one or both of them are in an already existing relationship, yet or even married, right, with children. That is just like the reality. If you are a certain age, chances are you got married, I don't know, early in your life, or not even that early, but before you actually meet your twin flame or re-meet them, your one true love. So chances are both of them have kids, right? So it is a subject that comes up basically in every session. And if I haven't talked about it yet, it is like, because I do have my standpoint on this. I do know what I believe in, what I feel is true about this situation, yet I know that it's easier said than done, what I'm going to share with you. So I just felt sorry that I maybe didn't want to go there. But now I'm actually going there. And I will give you sentences that will show you that kids know and feel so much more than what you might think, what you might be aware of, and that your fears of sharing the truth with them, sharing with them how you feel, and that your fears that they might not be able to cope, that if you went ahead and actually started or took the decision to actually separate from your spouse that you no longer love, or you love in a certain way but you realize there's like a bigger love coming your way. Like twin flame love is like something you never experienced before. So of course, up until the point where you meet your twin flame, you think that what you have is true love. And is that one true love? Maybe, right? Even though if people are really honest with themselves, a lot of times they do admit that they knew all along that it wasn't the one true love, that they knew all along that this was sort of a good person to have children with or to get married with, but it wasn't like that whole big like romantic dream and desire they had in their hearts that wasn't meeting that, right? If they're really honest. But so anyways, the situation is very common that both have kids. So if you do start to realize there is that deep twin flame connection, if you stop fighting these feelings you have for that new person, then eventually you are going to think about divorcing, separating, choosing yourself over that sort of vow you took towards your spouse. You actually you realize it doesn't mean a thing, basically. So of course, when you start to talk separation, it is also, okay, we have kids and I want only the best for my kids, and I don't want to burden them with anything. I don't want to break their heart. I don't want them to struggle in school. I don't want them to become depressive over this, and so I get all these thoughts. It's normal to have. You're a good parent, you're a loving mother, a loving father, and it's only normal to have these thoughts. So that's how delicately I try to approach the subject. I get you. I get what it's like to, have that concern for something that is sort of outside of you, which is a child that came from you and that you really only want the very, very best for. So if I share the sentences that I'm about to share, it's, as always in my videos, it's to encourage you, it's to have you be positive about what's going on, to invite you to let go of your fears, and that I just want to empower you and share with you a point of view that you might not be aware of, which is that these kids know all along. Basically, they know. They are very sensitive, as you know. They're little sponges. They soak up what is around them and they get it. A lot of times, as there's a saying, right, that children speak the truth. So it is actually that, if you go, oh, they're too young, they're only 2 or 3, or they're only 4 and 5 or 8 or 10, whatever the age may be, and you think they don't get what's going on, well, you might be wrong, because they do perceive much more than what you might give them credit for. So before I give you the sentences, I don't want to like be super long, and I don't want to give you the sentences. I will eventually give them to you, but it's important to also outline and like stress all the points I want to make. Saying that they feel a lot and that they perceive the truth also means they perceive what's going on between you and your spouse. That this might not be true love. This might not be both of them being fulfilled and being happy and thriving. They sense that, right? Maybe they don't always have the words to express it, but at least, in their teenage years, they realize, okay, it's not the real deal between my parents. And there are some sentences you will see that actually express that. So yeah, it's just for you to, I value loyalty and being loyal to a certain person. If you took vows, it's normal that you want to keep that up. But I put truth and honesty and authenticity above all that. So if you have to live a lie, basically, just to uphold an image, and because in the sake of the name of your children, then it's wrong, because children shouldn't have the role to keep you two together. It's not what they're supposed to be doing. They don't want that function. They don't want that rule. It's actually abusing of a child in the sense of you're giving them a role that they never asked for. They don't want to be the glue between you and your partner. And so don't make them the glue, don't take them as an excuse for you not choosing yourself, for you not walking your truth, for you not choosing your truth and living it. Don't blame it sort of on them. Oh, it's because of the kids, because they can't take that. Yes, they can take that, because what kids need is love. What kids need is honesty. What kids need is someone to be there for them. So if you were to separate and remarry, let's say, with your one true love and your ex-spouse, that's the same. There's more people in love able to love your child, your children, which is only beneficial to them. If you're straightforward with them, they can handle it. They can deal with it. It's not always going to be easy. I'm not saying that. I get that. But as I say, truth and trumps everything else. Okay, I'm going to give you these sentences, and because I like the last one most, I'm going to go by age. So we're going to start at the age of 20, then we're going to go down until the age of 5. So it's just examples that clients named in my sessions that their children or children in general said that show you that there's a higher awareness than what you might think. So let's start with the first one, which is of a 20-year-old son. So his mom, after years of having that relationship with that other person, she herself is not like, she was separated from her former husband, but the other person wasn't yet. So at one point she was like, I need to tell my son, that, we're together, that this is the love of my life, that we want to be together, and he's not going to go ever anywhere. So she thought that the son didn't know who it was or that that person even existed. So when she shared it, all he said, very short words, is, oh, of course, that's obvious, right? You two are obvious. So she was pretty shocked, because she thought she had kept that secret from him like all this time, successfully, which wasn't the case. So he was like, okay, what's new, right? So just to show you, okay, he perceived more than you thought. The second sentence is of a 18-year-old who, oh yeah, it's actually the person watching will recognize that story, is a friend of a twin flame, like a woman friend and her daughter visiting that male friend who is living basically with his twin flame, even though they're like not really official yet, but still like they're living together. So they went to visit them, and on their way back, the daughter, who's 18, as I said, the daughter of the friend, just said, did you feel that energy too? Like, as you know, twin flame energy can be very powerful. It's that unconditional love, is that very high vibrating love of, not always, right? They fight and they bicker too, but people can sense, they're magically drawn to twin flame couples. They're magically drawn to unions, put it that way. And so that girl didn't know, what was going on between like the twin flame and his twin. And she just commented to her mom like, oh my gosh, this was powerful, right? So I thought that was a beautiful sentence. So then the third sentence is of a 14-year-old. Where is it? Yes. That's a woman who's married with kids, but she realized that someone she knew from earlier in the days was actually her twin flame, and then realized how much she was in love with that person. And she hadn't shared with anyone. She hadn't shared with her kids or like anyone else, right? It was just sort of going on the side. It's an inner process, right? To come to the place of, okay, I have to own this. I can't make this go away. This is not going anywhere. Like, this is an inner process. So anyways, at one point when they were talking about, like her marriage, basically, like it came up, or it was like in a situation where they were almost fighting, like mother and daughter. So at one point the 14-year-old goes to her, why are you even here still? You're not happy at all. Like, we both know you're not happy in this marriage, right? So boom, there you have it. Thanks very much, my teenage daughter, for sharing the truth with me. Didn't know you knew. Good to know you do. Where do we go from here, basically? So the fourth sentence is of a 12-year-old who, yes, I'm not sure about the context anymore. It's been a while since I wrote it down, but it's basically like when the 12-year-old talked to the parent, it was at one point that he just said, why don't you just get a divorce already? Like, he was sensing, okay, there's nothing really going on between my parents anymore. That's not love. I can tell. They sort of act happy. They pretend to be this whole family, but it's actually not. Then I move on to an 8-year-old that when the mom shared with him that, also this again after quite some time of processing, of coming to terms that she wants to move on, that she wants to separate. So she was sharing that with her son, that she, basically daddy's going to move out. And so the reply she gets from her 8-year-old is, will I get to have 2 rooms then? So it just shows that his mind is like on what he's gaining, sort of, and not so much, like, it just shows that he sort of knew that this was sort of going to happen, and it's as if he had come to terms within that this is what it is, that his mom and his dad don't really, aren't really that romantic couple that they might want to be or pretend to be. So I feel that's quite a powerful sentence too. And then the last one, my favorite one, and the person who gave it to me will recognize it. And I asked her if it was okay to share here, of course, always in an anonymous way. So this is a woman who, is married with kids and who got to know her twin flame and is deeply in love with him and has yet not decided to separate, because it's not like they haven't really met physically yet, but she's thinking about, right, separating. And so at one point with her 5-year-old son, I think it was online that they found, like, they came upon a picture, an x-ray picture of a hand with a wedding band on the ring finger, right? So it just showed an x-ray, meaning bones, with that ring. So the 5-year-old goes, Mommy, what is this? What is this ring? And she goes on explaining, well, that's what people wear when they get married, They decide to spend their life together, and then they will love each other all their lives, just like me and Daddy, right? So she explained it that way, and the 5-year-old goes, be prepared. The 5-year-old goes, well, that was a mistake you did there, because he's always so mean to you. So this is about her marriage, right? That she didn't know the cracks were showing at all. She felt, okay, let's, keep it together for the kids, because we can't really do this to them. So there you have it. Truth in your face by a 5-year-old going, why are you even doing this? This was a mistake. He's mean to you. You're not really happy. So I think the main message of all these sentences is from the kids to the parents, like, I want you to be happy. Why do you do this to yourself? Why don't you love yourself more than to choose yourself over basically choosing to pretend for my sake, right? Don't do it for my sake, because I see through the whole BS already. So you can move on. So I think that's very telling, very beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It is really just to empower you, to take the fears of you, so you know it's not the end of the world. Yes, it's not what you envisioned when you were 10 years old and you knew one day when I'm going to get married, I'm going to have a family. You didn't consider, or you didn't choose back then to, oh, I'm going to separate. No one chose that for themselves, consciously didn't want that. But that's how it's happening. If it's to go that way, then that's what it is. Just know that your kids will cope. They want to see you happy. You're the best role model, being happy, living your truth, being authentic to yourself and to your spouse and to your kids. So I wish that for you, and lots of love and energy to all of you. Leave me comments if you have additional sentences. Maybe I'm gonna do a second part of this video. So it was a pleasure to have you. Sending all my love. Bye guys. Bye.